I don't want to forget to thank some really important people. So first of all, our co-chairs of the Capital Campaign, Sherry Goldstein and Jody Glantz. We're so, so grateful. And of course, the whole board. An amazing, amazing development team led by Samantha Dye. Our consultant for the campaign, Rob DiOrio, and our project coordinator and consultant who we've worked with now for a long time, Tom Hardy, and the amazing Jody Sherman and Christy Rogers from Lab 8 Designs, our architect and designer. And we're working with Soda Construction, another amazing organization that we've been so happy to work with. And actually, as we speak, the steel framing is going up and the drywall inside is going up. And we just saw that picture and got really excited about it. So we're going to try to share it with you at some point today so you can see the action in progress. But so, as I said, I'm going to be a little bit informal, just give you an update. And if you have, there's this picture. Can you see? Look how cool that looks. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. Rob DiOrio, our fundraising consultant, is going to be helping to answer questions too. So feel free to put them in the chat. If we don't get them today, we'll make sure we email you with some responses. So let me give you an overview of the project. So the Power Campus, first of all, it came to be because we recognize that we have to make services more acceptable for the men and women and families who need help, right? They need to be able to get the help they need when they need it most. And too often we're having them jump through all sorts of hoops to get the care they need. So with the Power Campus, we're going to have a 1-acre campus that includes this new school building that we're renovating. It's actually the former Word of God Elementary School. And we purchased it a couple of years ago and we started construction, as I said, and it'll be renovated and be able to hold all of our programs. The powerhouse, which is adjacent to the school, will remain where it is. So together they'll form the Power Campus. So imagine a woman who needs treatment being able to get all the levels of care she needs seamlessly, right? She can start with detox if that's necessary, go to rehab, then maybe Powerhouse, where she'll stay for another 6 months to continue her treatment, but begin to reconnect with the community. She'll be able to attend outpatient or intensive outpatient counseling. And along the entire journey, she could have a mentor, someone who is a recovery coach and wellness coach that will be available to actually not only the women in our treatment program, but now also available to men. So while our treatment programs are still all for women, we do offer assessment and intake and referral and mentoring for men and women. So the campus is in progress. This has been a $12 million campaign, and I'm happy to report that we have a little over 10.3 committed. So we are thrilled about that. We know the home stretch is here. We have a little more to go, but the timeline, just to let you know, is we should be moved in by this fall, end of fall, or actually end of summer, beginning of fall. So that will be phase 1 will be completed at that time. Phase 2 will probably end around the spring of 2024. And that's when we'll move over Power Restore, our newest program, which is an integrated detox and rehab. So that's just a little bit about how things are going. You know, people ask us why campus, and I said a little bit, the goal is to really transform the way services are delivered to people who struggle with addiction. And as I said, if you can imagine a time in your life where you had a complicated illness, or maybe you had some sort of business matter that you needed to address, and everything you needed was in a million different directions, right? So you had to navigate a bunch of different systems and had to get yourself to a bunch of different places. And can you imagine how overwhelming that is for a woman seeking treatment or a family who is affected by addiction? And so the goal of the campus has always been to create a safe place where people can come, get treatment, but also get the support services they need all under one roof. Right? So our major partners are going to address things like childcare and healthcare and workforce development. And all of those services, plus some others, will be available on the ground level. So I know that you might be wondering what the facility is going to look like. It's a 3-story, 45,000 square foot building. And the ground floor will be where partners will be housed. And so other agencies that are going to provide these wraparound services I described will be on the ground floor. There's a commercial kitchen. There is a nice large open area that's going to be like a dining area. It will also be available to the community. Swissville has been amazing to us since our inception in 1990. And so we wanted to create a space where the community could come in if they needed to use that kind of space and benefit from our position in the community. And by the way, the services that we're going to be providing at the campus are not just for Power clients. They're going to be open to anyone. So this is something that's going to benefit not only the recovering community, but the Swissville community and broader community, because there won't be any restrictions about where people can come from. So that's the ground floor. The first floor is going to be everything we have now at our Wilkinsburg office, our outpatient, intensive outpatient, our mentoring folks. While they work mostly in the community, they do have to be in the office sometimes. So mentoring, our intake department will be here, all of our administrative offices and back office kind of functions. And then the second floor will be the detox and rehab. And as I said, we're slated to bring that program over in the spring of 2024. So that's just a little bit about the facility, the campus. And as I said, Powerhouse will remain in the building adjacent. So it'll create a nice little campus, and there'll be a walkway connecting the two so that it all will feel more cohesive, right? And mostly women won't have to make these big decisions. Hopefully it'll just happen a little more organically because they'll already be with us and the programs will be on site, and things can be pretty seamless for them. So the campaign, I said we're at $12 million. There's still lots of room and time to help if you're interested. And I know many of you, I saw the list of folks who are on this briefing today, and many of you are already donors. So I can't thank you enough. I'm so excited that the community is responding and that you're excited about this. This is really going to change the way services are delivered in our community. And this facility and this campus is really one of the kind. It is the only facility of its kind in Pennsylvania, actually, and we haven't been able to find anything comparable across the country, although there certainly may be. But I think cities and towns in Pennsylvania will be able to use this as a model, as a way to really think about how to improve the way care is delivered to people with substance use problems. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute, see if we have any questions in the chat that I can respond to. And if you don't have them now, don't worry, you can always email them to us and we will respond. Equipment and yoga classes will be limited, so it won't be a full-blown gym. There's another question. There are people, it says there are people who resist treatment because they have pets. Any thoughts? Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts about that. I wanted a kennel right on the property. I don't know that we'll be able to do that. So interestingly, we've been talking to some supporters who share our love of animals and who absolutely recognize that sometimes people will not leave, just like they won't leave their kids, they won't leave their pets. And so what can we do about it? It would be nice to partner perhaps with some of the local animal shelters, but my guess is they're really overwhelmed themselves, especially now that everyone has a goal of a no-kill shelter. So we're going to have to figure that out, but we are talking about it. And I think the question was, are you thinking and talking about it? And we are. Will the new facilities bring in different and additional funding streams? Yes. In fact, Rob and Tom would kill me if I don't remember to say this, that a unique feature of this model is that the partners who share space with us are going to be tenants. So they're going to be contributing through their lease agreements. They're going to contribute rent. So not only will we give up the rent payments we pay for the space we currently lease, but we'll be earning a little bit of income from that rent. So that's a new revenue source for us. We're going to be growing our commercial insurance relationships. So while we already have contracts with Highmark and UPMC, we haven't marketed to commercial insurance a lot yet. I think when we're in our new home, we absolutely will do that, and that will help. And I think there's still a lot to learn about what other potential funding sources will be open to in a new environment like that. Will it change for staff that work from home to work in the office? Oh, I love our staff. They have so many good questions. No, in fact, we've been talking about this, and Jody Sherman, our architect, can attest to this. You know, we certainly didn't want a pandemic, but if we had to have one, I'm grateful it happened before we finalized our architectural design, because we have learned so much, like the rest of the world, right, about how you can work and who can work from home and what do you need to work from home and why do you always have to be in the office. So certainly it depends on what your job responsibilities are, what you have to do, but if you can work from home, why not? So that freed up some space for a little bit of future growth. It freed up more space that we can lease. And so nothing will change about the way we utilize hybrid models for working on site and at home, or for those folks who can work pretty much 100% from home. That will remain the same. There's a question, will the wellness center be free to the community? So it depends on who the partner is for our healthcare, right? So whatever their funding structure is, whoever comes is going to obviously have contracts to be able to provide services to folks with commercial insurance. They're also going to have the ability to serve clients on medical assistance. And probably we're really only talking to folks who have a way to also serve those who are uninsured. So it will be healthcare services that's pretty inclusive. That's going to be a criteria for any partnership we have with a healthcare provider. So happy about all these questions. How can I support the campaign or the campus now? How can you support the campus now? So I'll probably follow up with some more ideas, but I would say, do you want to support the campus financially? Do you want to support some of the work that needs to happen? Certainly there are lots of opportunities to support the campus project financially. There's tons of naming opportunities if that interests you. There's going to be a paver and brick campaign to make the opportunity to fund the project more accessible to all sorts of folks. So maybe a brick might be $150. So there's going to be all kinds of opportunities at a lot of different levels. They exist now. So all you have to do is get in touch with us and we'll help you with that. You know, I can imagine, and I'm looking at the staff that's in the room with me now for some help with this, but I can imagine needing people to help us move, get organized, get set up. We need more volunteers. You know, we have to have a front desk that's going to be always staffed. There will probably be more volunteer opportunities, all sorts of things from kind of office type things to working with clients. There's one and done projects that we'll probably need. So I'm going to give that a lot of thought and ask the rest of my team members, and we can respond with other ways you could be supportive. Certainly one thing I always say, if you want to support recovery in general, and you think about the stigma associated with substance use problems, I always tell people the best thing you can do is speak up. When you hear something crazy, when you hear something discriminatory, when you hear something mean or inaccurate about substance use problems and recovery, speak up. Speak up based on what you know. For some of you, that could be your own personal experience in recovery. For some of you, it could be having been a part of Power as a staff member or volunteer for a really long time. For some of you, you might be new to Power and just gotten involved in supporting the organization or thinking about supporting the organization. What are you learning? What drew you to this mission? And how can you share that when you're out and about? Because that's what it really will take. people talking about it and speaking up for those who can't yet speak up for themselves. Will the hours change for any of the programs? If anything, the hours will expand. We've already started to have walk-in appointments for assessments, and we are looking to, we do some evening outpatient appointments, but we would like to expand our outpatient to evening hours as well. So I think the hours at minimum will stay the same, but most likely they're going to expand. Someone asked, when will Power Restore move to the campus? So Power Restore is the integrated detox and rehab I told you about that opened last summer. And currently that is on a unit at the East End Behavioral Health Hospital in Wilkinsburg. And that program will come over anywhere from the spring of 2024 or sometime in that year. It's going to depend on a lot of factors. We're going to be ready for the program, so it will depend on timing with leases and that kind of thing. But they'll be over joining us soon. The rest of us, like I said, will be there end of summer, early fall. By the way, we're going to be really happy to show you around the facility. We can actually take people over now with enough notice, and if you're willing to wear a hard hat, or you can wait till the ribbon cutting, which you'll hear about, I'm sure. So I think we're all done. We didn't want to keep you too long. If you think of more questions, feel free to email us, and any of us will be happy to respond. And I'm so glad so many of you signed on to hear about the campus, and stay tuned because there's more to come. Thank you. Bye, guys.